Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Prabhakar Tamil from The Print Chennai Bureau. Today we have an eminent guest, educationalist Prince Gajendra Babu, who is General Secretary for State Platform for Common School System. Welcome, sir. So today the burning issue in Tamil Nadu is new education policy. Tamil Nadu government led by DMK have been resisting the new education policy. So how do you look at it basically?
It is not that Tamil Nadu government led by the DMK government, DMK-led Tamil Nadu government. It was even the AADMK-led government was opposing the draft national education policy. And actually, NEP 2020 was announced in July 2020. That was when AADMK was in power, and it was opposed by AADMK. Even the draft stage, Ms. Jayalalitha was alive. She was the chief minister. And while she was in the hospital, the cabinet met to discuss the draft proposals. And in the CABE meeting, the Tamil Nadu has presented why certain provisions of the draft policy could not be accepted by the government of Tamil Nadu. So there is a consistent opposition to this NEP 2020 right from its draft stage. The main reason is that they gave a draft, they wanted people to respond. When the people responded, including the state government and other stakeholders, they did not take any response into consideration. They have finalized what was in the draft. What were the features in the draft? You could find the same thing in the NEP 2020. And words might have changed, headings might have changed. They have regrouped. But otherwise, whatever the philosophy or guiding principles of the DNEP was in the NEP 2020 also. The real issue why Tamil Nadu is opposing is that there is an all India opposition. We only talk about Tamil Nadu opposing. Where is Jawaharlal Nehru University? Where is Delhi University? It's in Delhi. So there is a widespread struggle in Delhi University campus. There is widespread struggle in Jawaharlal Nehru University. In almost all the campuses, the students and teachers are opposing the NEP 2020. In the history of independent India, you do not see any policy being totally rejected like NEP 2020. We would have opposed certain provisions, but we rejected. The main reason is that NEP 2020 wants to hand over the education sector to the private players. It is opening up the market space. It is allowing the foreign direct investors to come into the educational field. We feel that that will destroy education. And beyond that, the document does not talk about education. It talks only about literacy, numeracy, and vocational skilling, right from school education up to college education.
So you say about people are protesting across the country, but what we could say is there are individual institutions or academicians who are protesting here and there. But in Tamil Nadu, the whole government system machinery itself is protesting, is against the new education policy. Let it be the AIDMK-led government or the DMK-led government, the state machinery itself is against the policy. Even the political parties here are against it, and the main contention is that like imposition of Hindi through three-language policy. So how do you look at it? Like three-language policy, they didn't make Hindi as a compulsory language or mandatory language. So native language, English, and another one language which is optional, which can be anything other than the English and Tamil. So how it could be perceived as an imposition of Hindi?
The real stakeholders, when we say they are the working class people, because they have an aspiration that child should enter into a college and university. So real stakeholders are that. The immediate stakeholders are the students and teachers because they are directly involved. So whoever are directly involved, they are protesting. So those who have knowledge about the policy, they are protesting. Those who do not know what is inside the policy, they will protest once they are able to understand about the details of the policy. In Tamil Nadu, the political parties have taken up the issue. This has not been seen in other states. Now at the later stage, we could see the government of Karnataka and government of Kerala also opposing that. The Jharkhand government is opposing. There are opposition from many states in India at present. Tamil Nadu is not solitary at present. A few years before, you may say that Tamil Nadu was standing alone, but now it is not Tamil Nadu alone. There are many states many state governments which have joined with Tamil Nadu to oppose the NEP 2020 in toto, not only about a particular provision. With regard to the language, you have got two dimensions to understand the language. One is that mother tongue or the language of environment. Uh, this is the practically a language in which a child starts the learning process. The child, when it comes into this world, it hears the sound which is familiar to the child. Through that sound, the child is able to understand. That is what we call it as a language. So naturally, the mother's language, the mother's tongue, is a child's tongue. In some exceptional condition, the mother may be speaking a different language. The people around the child may be speaking another language. So the environment of the child, that is a language that may be different from the mother tongue also. So what we say is that the mother's tongue or the language of the environment is a natural language for the child. And if the child is entering into a school, if that be a medium of education in the mother tongue or the language of environment, it will be easy for the child. When do you learn the second language? When is the question of second language comes? In Germany, there is no concept called second language. In France, there is no concept called second language. Why in India there is a concept called second language? Because in India, in whichever state you go, including Tamil Nadu, even the gig workers, if I want to go as a gig worker, I am asked, can you communicate in English? It's a natural question, the first question that I am supposed to answer. So out of necessity, I am forced to learn English. That is how the two language comes here. The two language approach is a scientific approach in Tamil Nadu. Beyond that, you are saying, why can't you learn a third language? My question is that why should I learn a third language? In what way it is going to help me? Is it not a stress to the child? The child comes into a school to understand various environmental issues, that is, it may be social environment, it may be different kind of an ecology that child is feeling. It wants to understand the entire ecology. In the ecosystem, the child wants to develop into a sports person. A child wants to develop into a artist in different fields. So these are all the opportunities for the child to learn. You are not providing a games teacher. You are not providing a teacher who could understand or identify the interest of a child in a particular athlete or particular team. But you are talking only about a third language, but you are not telling me in what way this third language is going to help this child. If this third language is going to help the child to get a gold medal in Olympics, or is the third language is going to help the child when the child is doing its PhD, in what way the third language? Without knowing that, you are just talking about a number. 3 language is a number. So my question are the people who are much familiar with the linguistic issues, the third language is only a stress on the child. It is not necessary. If you are able to teach one language thoroughly for a child, through that language, whatever language, whichever language the child wants to learn, the child can learn at any point of its time according to the need. With this, what we need to understand is that you said that we are not compelling any language. We are asking you to learn any language. Asking me to learn any language, but you will provide only a Hindi teacher. When there is only a provision for a Hindi teacher, what language I will be able to read? You have allotted 50 crore rupee in one budget. You have specifically stated in the union budget that 50 crore will be allotted for appointment of Hindi teachers in non-Hindi speaking areas. You have spent nearly 622 crores for Sanskrit. But you have never said in your union budget appointment of other language teachers or appointment of Indian language teachers. You have not allotted fund at all. And you have never said that appointment of language teachers other than Hindi in the Hindi speaking areas or states, whatever it may be. So your intention is to ensure that by giving you many options and providing only one teacher, you will be forced to study only Hindi. So in the North India, many Indian states swallowed by the Hindi language. You are identifying Bihar as a Hindi state. You are identifying Uttar Pradesh as a Hindi state. After some years, you will identify Maharashtra as a Hindi state. That is the feeling that Marathi people are having right now. Uttar Pradesh has got a very traditional language, Awadhi language, very old language, very ancient language. There is Bhojpuri language, there are many other languages, but you do not have any sense that these people speak such languages, even though you may be having it in the schedule. The same effect will come for Marathi tomorrow. And if you allow in Tamil Nadu, day after tomorrow, Tamil Nadu also will become a Hindi speaking state. Thereby, you will not say Tamil Nadu as a Tamil speaking people living area. You will say that Hindi people living area living in Tamil Nadu. So you want to make, as you have made Uttar Pradesh and Bihar as a Hindi belt, now you want to make the southern states also a Hindi belt, so that ultimately you will make India into a Sanskritized one culture, homoculture nation, a single culture nation. That is the ultimate aim of NEP 2020. So Hindi is also a via media. It is not, they don't have any love for India. Hindi, they have love for Sanskrit. They want a Sanskritized nation. For establishing a Sanskritized nation, now they are talking about Hindi. So we want to save the Indian languages, not only Tamil, we want to save all the Indian languages, including Gujarati, Marathi, and other languages.
So you say children do suffer by learning 3 languages. So if you take a if a child in Tamil Nadu, it is the same in Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, also the same child is there. So there, when they are able to capable of learning 3 languages, like let it be whatever it is, their mother tongue, English, Hindi, or some other foreign language. So when those children are learning 3 languages, and if Tamil Nadu children are not learning 3 languages, won't there be any disparity in their knowledge or their capacity to, their accessibility to other places, or let it be foreign or even to other states?
See, you have 75 years of experience. In the 75 years of experience, go to the CBSE website and find out what are the languages, what are the subjects given. You will understand from 1st standard to 5th standard, you have only 2 languages. You don't have 3 languages. The 3rd language is introduced from 6 to 8, that's all. When it comes to 9th and 10th, again it is only 2 language, and when you enter into higher secondary, the +1, +2, it again becomes a single language. That's how the setup is there till date. Okay, and in this 3 language, you are not teaching Awadhi. If you are really talking about the Indian languages, you should Awadhi child should learn the Awadhi. The Bhojpuri child should learn a Bhojpuri. Instead, if you are going to teach Sanskrit, what is your intention? You have made me in subconscious level to forget about my language. You want me to give up my culture. If I lose my culture, if I lose my language, I am losing my dignity. I am talking about something, about somebody, what have been instructed to me. It is not a real life with dignity. So I am talking about a life with dignity. If I need a life with dignity, I need to maintain my own language. So, just because they learned 3 languages, in what way they have outshined, even for the 6 years, even for the 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th. For 3 years, if they learn the 3rd language, it is Sanskrit, or whatever language they may be, what they have proved that an additional, either for their survival or for the social good or for the national development, in what way they have contributed. So you have given only an additional stress for the child. Whatever stress that you are given for a child in Uttar Pradesh, whatever stress that you have given a child for Bihar, you want to give the same stress for the child in Tamil Nadu. How do you want us to accept that? You are just asking, they are undergoing the stress. They have not produced a gold medalist. And you have also not produced a gold medalist. At least let you suffer the same stress what they are suffering. It is only a suffering. But what we are aiming is that to open up many opportunities for the child in different field, improve the school education, provide them a teacher per subject, per class, and other opportunities, other facilities, so that you will have a holistic development. Just learning another language does not lead to a holistic development.
So is language the only issue in this new education policy?
The new education policy, it is there is nothing new in that. There is nothing new in that. It is something about Karna's teacher, bringing back Karnan's teacher. Okay. You know the mythological, the epic character Karnan. The Karnan was taught a skill. He acquired a skill. He was taught something. And when the teacher found out that this Karnan was not born in a particular class, he is not supposed to learn that particular trade. So the teacher has taught Karnan a trade what is not supposed to be for a person born in a particular class. After identifying the birth, the teacher said that you will forget this trade whenever you want to use the trade. You will forget the trade whenever you want to use the trade. Now, the Indian Prime Minister cannot go and stand with Trump or Macron and say that the Indian child will forget whatever it has learned when it is going to be really useful to the child. You cannot say this in a democratic setup. The world will not accept, isn't it? So the modern day Karnan's teacher is the National Education Policy 2020. It says that you will be educated from 3 years. You will be educated till 18 years. That means you will be having 15 years of schooling. After 15 years of schooling, your 15 years of school scorecard will not help you to enter into an undergraduate course. It is not going to be of any help to you. You have to prove your aptitude for the subject in which you are going to pursue higher studies through a common university entrance test that will be conducted at all India level. So my 15 years of education becomes meaningless, like Karnan acquiring a knowledge in a particular trade, but the trade will not be useful for Karnan when it has to be really helpful to him at a particular point of time. So this is the National Education Policy 2020. It has got many issues. It is not one issue or two, it is many issues. It is a document to deny education. It's a document to kill the spirit of concept India, which is unity in diversity. You have diversity in education, you have diversity in culture. It kills the diversity, it wants to bring uniformity.
I also see that people like DMK people or educationalists yourself have criticized about the vocational training that is mentioned in the NEP. So what is the problem with vocational training?
See, they say observation is something different. You take a child for observation. That is something different. Asking the child to get interested in a particular trade is something different. They want a 3-year child to be introduced to some occasion so that the child develops an interest in it. They say it is fun learning. In a cosmopolitan city, a child which lives in an AC room, which travels in an AC car, which it doesn't do any labor work, manual work, for such a child, going and observing a manual labor or something like that may be a fun. Or learning such a labor is maybe fun. But for a child born for a parent who are traditionally involved in a particular trade and they were not given any other opportunity to learn any other trade or education, get a secure some kind of a knowledge in other field, how will the parent and how will the child feel? It will really kill the spirit. It will really kill the spirit of learning. Most importantly, they say, when the child completes 8th standard, that means it may be hardly 14 years of age. By 14 years of age, the child should have a occasional skill. You will be having 2 scorecards. Or, in other words, your scorecard must mention about the subjects and also about the occasion in which you are trained. So by 8th standard, you are being trained into a occasion. Once you are trained into a occasion, given the social economic condition, educational and social backwardness of the people, will the child be able to pursue studies in the higher education? So that is why we say, for a child, occasional skilling is not needed. Even for an undergraduate, they are only talking about literacy, physics literacy or chemistry literacy or commerce literacy. They are not talking about in-depth knowledge in a particular subject. Say, when you talk about computer literacy, that means that you know how to open a computer and close a computer. That is computer literacy. But if you want to become an hardware engineer, you have to study. You are acquiring knowledge in hardware, in-depth knowledge in hardware. Like it's software, you have got different languages. That is computer education. Computer literacy is different from computer education. Now they are not talking about a study of physics subject. They are talking about literacy in physics subject. Now what they are trying to do is that for a 3-year course, they want to send 1 year the child to the student to a apprenticeship training. So 3-year course, the student will be in college or university for 2 years. For 1 year, the student will go for apprenticeship. What kind of an apprenticeship do you are expecting from a BCom student for 1 year? Or a BA history or a BSc science graduate? What kind of an apprenticeship you are expecting? And now what will be the effect of this is that the student will not have an in-depth knowledge in the subject, and whatever apprenticeship has done in a particular industry, it is not going to help, because you cannot guarantee that the student will get an occupation or an employment in the same industry. So that will not be an assured payment, wages or whatever it may be. So you are just throwing the children and youth into the job market as a semi-skilled labor, which will spoil their entire future.
So now coming back to Tamil Nadu, like state government and union government. So now the union government says either you align with the NEP or you don't get the funds. And Tamil Nadu government is resisting the NEP and it demands like we will not accept the NEP but release the funds for the state government, because you have to pay salaries for teachers and we have a lot of other commitments in the school education department. So do you think both the parties are doing politics over children's education, or how do you see it?
You are asking me whether you want to uphold the Constitution of India or you are going to accept NEP and get the money. What am I to answer? I am told that I should uphold the Constitution of India, because Constitution of India reflects the sacrifices of Bhagat Singh, Vausi and others who have given their blood and life. Constitution of India, Article 14 says right to equality. PMC school is just opposite of right to equality, because certain schools will be schools of excellence, schools for Prime Minister, schools for Rising India, other schools will be schools. So it is not giving an equitable access to the child. And Article 21 is talking about life, freedom of life, and Constitution, freedom of life means Supreme Court has interpreted it's a life with dignity. So a freedom of life with dignity, how can a child, when it sees that I am studying in a school, but my friend is studying in a school that is branded as a school for excellence, is it not a life with dignity? So it is against Article 21 and it's against Article 41, Article 14. And it is also against Article 41, because Article 41 says, as the economic capacity of the state improves, the state has to provide education as a fundamental right. But you are now asking the school, college and university to get funds from corporates under the corporate social responsibility. The corporates have surplus fund, you have to tax them and give the money to the schools. You cannot ask the school or a college or a university to go and beg with the corporate to give funds under the CSR. So the entire NEP 2020, including the PMC schools, it is against the vision and provision of Constitution of India. So when we want to uphold the Constitution of India, we will say that Constitution is prime for me, so I will not accept NEP 2020. And the union government, which collected the tax from the people, which has placed a finance bill in the parliament, they have got an approval for income as well as expenditure. And in expenditure, they have said that they will spend this much money for the Samagra Shiksha. They never put any condition in the budget stating that Samagra Shiksha will be given only when they align with the NEP 20. No, nothing was, Parliament was not informed like that. So you are actually putting the entire parliamentary process meaningless. You having got the approval from the Parliament, you are not spending that money. So it is illegal. It is against constitution. It is against the spirit of federalism. Beyond that, education is in entry 25 of list 3. Even in list 3, it is stated in entry 25, subject to entry 66 of list 1. That means the union government has got a limitation that it can address only the issues of setting up standards and coordination in higher education and higher research, and not in school education, surely. And that too, it will be only a guiding factor. It cannot dictate, because university, establishment of university comes under entry 32 of list 2. So the state has got a right to establish university, regulate the university, administer the university. State has got a right to have, and in the post-independence India, and for all these 75 years, it is only the respective state governments which are running the general schools, general colleges. The union government is running only special schools. The state has got rich experience in establishing schools, colleges and universities, administering it, spending for it. So you cannot overnight take away all the rights. Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has rightly pointed out in November 25, 1949 speech, that whatever rights that has been given to the state government has come from the Constitution of India. It is not given by the government of India. So the union on its own cannot alter the boundaries, and even the judiciary cannot do that. So now the union government through the NEP 2020 want to alter that boundaries. So we say you cannot alter that boundary. The constitution has given sovereign powers for the state as well as sovereign powers for the union. So there is a division of power. The ultimate sovereign is the people of India. The people of India rejected NEP 2020. So don't trust something which we do not want.
So after DMK, after coming to power in 2021, so they said we don't accept NEP. We are going to form a state education policy. And 30-member panel was formed, and after 3 years, last year in July 1, this 30-member panel submitted the report, the 500-page report of state education policy. And it's been more than 6 or 8 months. So the state government hasn't released the report, or hasn't finalized this state education policy, or hasn't even come out with what is there in the state education policy. So how do you look at it, and what do you expect it from the state education policy?
See,
And why
2021 mandate is to reject NEP 2020 and bring in a state education policy. So evolving a state education policy is the mandate of the people of Tamil Nadu. So when you are going to meet the people again, the people will question the state government. We gave a mandate to you. The ultimate sovereigns, the people of India, they are not just voters. They have given a mandate. They have used their sovereign power. They have given their power through the ballot, through the representative, to the government. The state has an obligation to announce a state education policy, which should be to provide education through fully state-funded institutions, whether it's a school, college or university. We want the state-funded institutions to be strengthened and widened. Improve, strengthen the state-funded institutions, provide equitable access to quality education for all, open up the field for all. That is the demand of the people, and we expect the government of Tamil Nadu to come out with the policy. It is only a report that has been submitted. They should study the report and come out with the policy. A cabinet which has to come out with a policy. The report should be studied by the cabinet, and the cabinet should come out with a policy, a state education policy, which will be an answer to the National Education Policy 2020. Thereby we can say, according to Article 14, it is right to equality, and Tamil Nadu stands firmly on Samachir Kalvi, which means equitable access to quality education. So once you are able to come out with a policy that is based on Samachir Kalvi, that is equitable access to quality education for all, the entire nation will support the state of Tamil Nadu. Even judiciary will support. No one from judiciary will say that no, we will not accept equitable access. Provide education through a market. Nobody will say. So the Tamil Nadu government should come out. It has a tradition of providing free education, it has cost-free education through the taxpayers' money. So the government of Tamil Nadu should come out as early as possible to keep a full stop for all these issues, the answer will be the state education policy that the Tamil Nadu government should announce.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing in-depth insight into the NEP and why the state government and is opposing, basically. So thank you, viewers. So for more such interviews, videos, explainers, and in-depth stories, follow our YouTube channel and follow our page on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you.